From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
One person is dead following a hit and run on the city's southwest side. Now at 4:30, the latest on the search for suspects in that case.
Plus, an arrest is made in the death of an Indianapolis mother this morning. The message her heartbroken family wants you to hear. And
they're only a month behind. He got laid off in the coal mines. He had to find another job. They're doing the best they can do.
A family at risk of being thrown out of their home despite President Biden extending the national ban on evictions. This morning, we're working for you, breaking down how that eviction moratorium works. First here at 4:30, thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Megan Shin. Of course, we saw the sun yesterday, Todd, but will that continue today?
Yeah, we'll see the sunshine today. The difference, though, today is going to be a lot cooler than it was yesterday. Yesterday, some areas got all the way up to right around 50 degrees. Our temperatures are still in the process of cooling off here this morning. 30 in Indy, 32 in Bloomington, 31 in Lafayette. Technically, our high for the day today is going to go into the books right after midnight. A little bit of a breeze still puts wind chill values for you this Friday morning down into the 20s. 21 is what it feels like in Indy as well as Lafayette this morning. And most of the area is clear. A little bit of cloud cover to the north. And overall today, skies will be partly cloudy. There's really not a whole lot going on across the area. The wind is not as strong today as it has been the past couple days. So that's good news as well. The bad news is our temperatures are just not going to warm much at all here throughout the day today, as the winds will be out of the northwest. And that's going to keep us in the mid-20s. I know we're above that right now, but we'll continue to fall back down into the mid-20s here this morning. And then we kind of just stay there throughout the entire day, maybe getting back up, Lauren, right around the freezing mark later on this afternoon.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We had an early morning car fire here on the northeast side at I-465 and I-69. That has since cleared and traffic is traveling up to speed, as you can see, in all directions. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning, let you know if there are any trouble spots you should avoid.
Lauren, thank you. We start with breaking news this morning out of Hendricks County. Police need your help finding a man at the center of a silver alert. This is 85-year-old Prentice Eastham. He was last seen in Clayton around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. Eastham is driving a silver Honda Civic with the Indiana license plate 936 LLD. Take a look at your screen. If you see Mr. Eastham or have any information on where he might be, call 911 immediately.
New from overnight, police on the city's southwest side are investigating this deadly hit and run. It happened around 12:30 along Kentucky Avenue near Maywood Road. Police say they received a call from a driver saying that a body was lying along Kentucky Avenue. Investigators arrived to find a body that appears to have been hit by a vehicle and a large debris field. At this hour, police say they do have some leads in that case. Also new from overnight, police are investigating a double shooting on the city's far east side. This happening just before 2 o'clock this morning on 38th Street near Massachusetts Avenue. Our crew on the scene reported a number of bullet markings in the parking lot of the 38th and Mass Liquors. Police have not released what led up to the gunfire. Investigators say the victims were last listed in stable condition.
This morning, a reminder from a heartbroken family and domestic violence advocates that help is out there. It comes as IMPD announces an arrest in the death of the 32-year-old mother. We're not naming the suspect, who has not been formally charged yet, but her family and police say the man under arrest was her husband. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker has the report.
She was the life of the party. She kept a smile. She loved her children as well as her family.
That's what Ashley Bell's family told Daniette Smith about their loved one who was killed earlier this month. Daniette is the founder of Silent No More, Inc., a nonprofit dedicated to helping people get out of relationships where they're being physically and emotionally abused.
There are people out here, including myself, who are survivors that are willing to step in those shoes with you and walk you out of it, get you the resources that's needed.
While we're still waiting on police to tell us more about the circumstances surrounding Ashley's killing, Daniette says this is another reminder that domestic violence is real and happening in our community. She tells me the pandemic has only made things worse.
Since people are forced to stay in their homes, not go to work, and with the job decrease, it has really turned the numbers up for domestic violence and it just has us working a lot.
As our leaders focus on trying to get control of the coronavirus, Daniette hopes they'll also help deal with the ripple effects of the pandemic by funding groups in the community helping those dealing with domestic violence.
The small organizations, the grassroots organizations need that funding, so that way we can go inside of the community, we can go to those doors, we can help those individuals who are facing domestic violence directly, more so than waiting on them to contact us.
With a blessing from Ashley's family, Daniette is speaking out to hopefully save someone else's life, getting them out of their dangerous situation before it turns deadly.
You don't have to stay. There are resources out here. Even if the shelters are full, there is funding out there to get you placed into a safe environment.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Cornelius, thank you. And you can find a list of resources available for those dealing with domestic violence in this story on our WRTV News app. Remember, the National Domestic Hotline is available anytime. That number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Lauren?
Megan, Metro Police need your help finding 2 people wanted in questioning in a Thanksgiving weekend homicide. They want to talk to a man and a woman about what happened on November 28th in the area of West 34th and North Meridian. Officers say someone shot a man who later died a short time later at the hospital. If you recognize that man and woman, Metro Police want you to call Crime Stoppers.
And families who have lost loved ones to violence in Indianapolis demanded to be heard, and it worked.
They listened. They apologized to me and to all of the parents for leaving us feeling like we've been let down and they don't care.
Someone killed Melissa Jude's son at Arsenal Park in June of last year. She says it has been difficult contacting the detective on the case. Through support groups, she met other mothers facing the same challenges, and they held a protest earlier this month to call for better communication between detectives and grieving families. Days later, Jude met with IMPD homicide captains and the manager of victims assistance.
It went well, and that's all I wanted to hear. Someone higher than what we're dealing with to listen to us, put themselves in our shoes, and just when you lose your child or a loved one, you're just left there to find resources and kind of deal with, to us, what feels like a 3-ring circus afterwards. And I told them it's like taking gasoline and pouring it on a fire with those emotions.
An IMPD spokeswoman says the push from families sparked the rededication to the department's family contact protocol. The protocol says unsolved homicides happening in 2019 or later require a quarterly contact with families for the first 2 years. Lauren?
Megan, this morning a Noblesville man is in the hospital but lucky to be alive after being pulled from this burning apartment building. That fire happened at Pebblebrook Village Apartments late Thursday night. Firefighters say the victim was pulled from his apartment by a next-door neighbor. He was rushed to Eskenazi Hospital here in Indianapolis for his injuries. Noblesville fire officials say that the fire badly damaged 2 apartments. The cause of that fire still remains under investigation this morning.
Time now is 4:38. Let's go inside the coronavirus crisis to see the latest impacts of the pandemic on our state. State health officials report nearly 3,800 new cases of the virus. That's more cases than reported earlier this week. But still, for the 6th day in a row, the number of new cases have remained below 4,000. The health department also reports 64 more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Since the pandemic began, more than 9,200 people in Indiana have died with the virus.
Well, Eli Lilly says that a COVID-19 antibody drug is helping to prevent the spread in nursing homes. The drug maker says in nursing home residents alone that use the drug, they had an 80% lower risk of contracting the virus. The drug is a one-time treatment given through an IV. Back in November, U.S. regulators allowed the drug for emergency use for the treatment of mild to moderate COVID-19 cases. Lilly says it will seek to expand the authorization to include long-term care facility use.
On day 1 of his presidency, President Joe Biden had made a host of executive orders that includes extending the CDC national moratorium on evictions nationwide. This stops evictions through the end of March and potentially through September. In the president's proposal for the next COVID relief package, an additional $30 billion would be given to rent and utility relief. That's more than double the amount that was just passed, giving Indiana an expected $448 million.
It helps us buy a little more time to be able to address that solution of rent relief. It also gives the state government a little bit of time to think about some legislative opportunities to help those who have fallen through the cracks.
Renter advocates say they're finding some people are still unaware of this moratorium. Prosperity Indiana says renters need to proactively ask if they are at risk of eviction and fill out a declaration form from the CDC's website to avoid eviction.
Well, Bankers Life Fieldhouse is already a great place to watch hoops. Still ahead, though, the steps the Pacers are taking to make it even better.
Plus, a book holds more than words. It could improve the child's future. Up next, how it helped brighten the future of these young students from Martinsville.
And it was a nice break yesterday with the sunshine and the above normal temperatures, but the chill has returned to central Indiana. Now it's going to stick around for a little longer. We'll talk about today's forecast and look ahead to the weekend as well. Coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to connect you to jobs and career paths that you may not discover on your own. Central Indiana social worker says there is a serious need for more black men in their field. David Brown is a behavioral therapist. He and his fellow members of the Central Indiana Association of Black Social Workers say there is a large demand for black men in their industry. They say it's important social workers can relate to other clients.
It's one thing to read about being an African-American man, but it's another thing to have been experienced to some of the challenges and some of the biases and some of the race, the racism of it.
In an effort to add to their industry's talent pool, Brown and his colleagues are hosting a virtual information session tomorrow. If you're interested in attending the session, we have a link to do that on our WRTV app.
Well, the gift of a book is a tool to combat the cycle of poverty, and WRTV and the Scripps Howard Foundation are proud to support our community through the If You Give a Child a Book campaign promoting childhood literacy. So this past year, with your help, we raised more than $15,000 towards this literacy campaign. That allows us to donate 3,150 books to kids at South Elementary School down in Martinsville and Urban Act Academy here in Indianapolis. So on Thursday, I stopped by South Elementary, a Title I school with students grades pre-K through 4th grade. While we couldn't host our normal book fair inside of the school due to COVID-19 precautions, each student still got to take home 4 brand new books. Plus, we donated additional books to their classrooms.
And then opening those bags and getting out and showing us which one they think might be their favorite and which one they want to read first. It was great to see that excitement.
And again, we want to thank all of you in our community for coming alongside us in our effort to help improve literacy here in central Indiana. You can always use your help to reach more students in need. So to donate, just visit WRTV.com/giveabook. Todd, they were so cute yesterday. I know you wanted to head down there. It was a little bit of a drive with State Road 37 being closed, but we made it, and they were so thankful. Look at them with their signs.
Yeah, I obviously couldn't make it yesterday with the noon show, but previous years when we went to the school here in Indianapolis, just seeing the smile on all those kids' faces when they get those books to take home is absolutely priceless. So yeah, thanks again to everybody that donated to make those kids happy and their lives just a little bit better. Outside right now, we are dealing with quiet conditions. That's the good news. Pretty nice view of our city here this morning with the clear skies. How about the War Memorial all lit up there as usual and looking nice here on this Friday morning. Temperatures outside right now are continuing to slowly fall. Yesterday was well above normal. Today is going to be a little bit below normal. We're at 30 degrees right now officially at the airport. Feels like 21 though when you factor in this west wind at 10 miles per hour. And the wind direction is the issue today. Not so much the wind speeds. The wind speeds have come down, but that west to northwest wind today is going to keep these temperatures from warming much at all. And some of you are in the 20s now, Tipton over to Greenfield into Richmond. 30 right now in Greencastle. 32 is the current temperature in Bloomington. You factor in that wind and it feels like it's the 20s. So definitely a morning you need to bundle up all across the area. And throughout the day today, we will see our temperatures really kind of just hold pretty steady. They're not really going to do much at all from start to finish. As we get into the afternoon hours, we'll fall into the mid-20s here this morning. And then by the noon hour, sitting at 27 degrees. And eventually, highs will get back up close to 30 later on this afternoon. The good news is we do have sunshine out there. So that will be at least one thing to help brighten up the sky literally across the area. Now, as far as the satellite radar picture goes, a few clouds this morning starting to make their way out of the area back off to our west. Eventually, this storm system is going to bring us some precipitation the second half of the weekend. This evening, if you have plans, bundle up because temperatures will drop off really quick tonight. So it's Friday night. Many of you may be heading out to dinner or over some friends. Temperatures in the mid-20s through the early evening hours. By the time we get closer to midnight, we're already in the teens, and that means you wake up tomorrow morning to temperatures in the teens all across the area. It's the coldest morning we have in your 7-day planning forecast. About 16 degrees at 8 a.m. and that's in the city. Outlying areas, wouldn't be shocked if maybe we get into the single digits in some areas. And then throughout the day, we have sunshine. That's the good news. And temperatures getting back up to right around 32 degrees. So Saturday's a cold day, especially in the morning, but then it turns into a decent afternoon. Let me fast forward now to Sunday for you. And as we go into the day on Sunday, we're going to start to develop a wintry mix in the morning. Could start off as a little bit of snow, then could go over to some freezing rain and then just plain old rain. That's with the first push. There's kind of two waves with this system coming through. The second wave comes in Monday morning, and Monday morning I'm probably a little more concerned about the freezing rain potential. Well to the north, it's snow. So this is a storm system that we're going to have to keep an eye on for you. At this point, I would say I would plan on maybe some slippery conditions Sunday night and then into the Monday morning commute before those temperatures start to warm. But it's going to be a close call with that low right around 32 degrees Monday morning. Once we get past Monday morning, Lauren, pretty quiet stretch of weather as we head into the middle of next week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at your commute this morning. This is I-65 and I-465 down on the south side. The interchange there is traveling smoothly. No crashes, no delays in this area to slow down your commute. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on your Friday morning drive. We'll keep you updated on any issues. Megan?
Lauren, thank you. On Sunday, the Pacers will once again be welcoming fans back inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So how do you make a great place to watch basketball even better? Our Brad Brown shows us how the Pacers are doing just that.
For a building that's now more than 20 years old, Bankers Life Fieldhouse is still looking like it's brand new.
This building has a great understructure. It's going to be here for a long time and another generation.
The first phase of a 3-year construction and renovation program has been completed. 9 months of work have led to some brand new spaces and some major upgrades to others.
We're excited for all of it. It's a beautiful building. It's the best building to watch a basketball game in the country, probably in the world, and we're making it even better. We're excited for people to get to see it.
Construction inside has been what they call a bottom-up plan, with the premium spaces on the event level getting started. But for fans walking inside the field house, they will get a strong visual of what's been done here from the moment they walk in. The massive center court video board is all new, with bigger, brighter screens and more visuals from every seat of the field house. Speaking of seats, those are being upgraded as well. The original green chairs replaced by new, more comfortable gray ones. The lower bowl is complete. Those will eventually make their way to the upper levels.
It was a matter of trying to get the populace and the other architects who are working on it to say, hey, what can we do that's financially feasible and make it look like it's totally different? And so the work that was done for the months and months and months before we started construction was really the opportunity for us to make sure that we did it right.
The biggest changes are coming mostly out of sight of the Arena Bowl. The lower level suites have all gotten an upgrade, new TVs, new chairs, and a more premium atmosphere. There's also the addition of 2 new club spaces. The 67 Club plays homage to the Pacers' beginnings, and the Hardwood Club to the state's rich basketball history. Fans sitting in the lower levels will have access.
We know that each person coming in here sort of has a unique hope for that game. Some it's really centered on if we win or lose. Some is just, hanging out with friends. I think our goal has really been to create that experience that appeals to each person individually while still having sort of a shared experience overall.
The Fieldhouse practice court got a vertical adjustment. A move to street level opened up more than 7,000 square feet of space underneath. That's now home to the locker room and training facilities for the Fever, making it among the best in the WNBA.
It's all the little things that will make us into that championship type team. So we're excited. Got a lot of work ahead of us, but it starts right here.
We're trying to create an environment where championships are the norm. So we're in that process. This is a big piece of that, to have the ability to provide for our players every resource they need to be at their best, to learn and to grow.
There are changes being made as fans come back to the Fieldhouse while COVID-19 remains an issue. Signs for social distancing, a cashless payment and debit system. Tickets will go digital as well. The Fieldhouse of the future? It'll feel like that from the moment you walk in.
This really forces businesses to, I think, to adapt, and a lot of times we're more cautious and fearful of how our fans are going to respond than how they actually do. And sometimes we need a gentle little nudge, and certainly this pandemic was more than just a gentle little nudge.
The next phase of construction will begin and continue this spring. Working for you, Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
WRTV.
Welcome back. This pandemic has been tough for nursing home residents here in Indiana and across the country. A group of high school students in Minnesota wanted to do something to help raise their spirits. So they put on their gloves and started building. With a few hours, the students built a few snowmen and some snow sculptures outside of the nursing home. Take a look.
With COVID and everything, I feel like it can get kind of lonely, especially with not a lot of visitors and stuff. So maybe it's just a little something to brighten their day. They can look at it when they feel sad or lonely or just need something to look at out the window.
That lifts my spirits, and more than a dozen Honor Society students took part in the effort. Todd, what a great way to use the winter elements to help raise spirits.
Yep, absolutely. No snow like that in our forecast, though, so all the snow lovers, I'm sorry, there's not a whole lot in here, although some of you could see a little bit Sunday night into the day on Monday. Today, partly cloudy skies, temperature of 31 degrees. Tomorrow is really chilly to start off. We're in the teens in all locations. By Saturday afternoon, though, up to 32 degrees. Sunday, that's when we have that wintry mix going over to all rain eventually by Monday. But both Sunday morning and Monday morning have the potential to be slick across the area. And then once we get past Monday, pretty quiet weather as we head into the middle of next week. Raphael joins the ladies and myself coming up here at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple of minutes right here on Good Morning Indiana.